It is December and it is very nearly the big day. Keeping me company, it's Team Girl this hour is former Labour official Halima Khan and journalist and broadcaster Claire Muldoon. Thank you so much, ladies. Both looking absolutely gorgeous, it has to be said. But someone else who's looking equally gorgeous, it also has to be said, is Sam Francis, and he's got the news headlines for you.
Those are the latest GB News headlines for now. I will admit that my Christmas tree didn't go down until August last year, so I'm still yet to put it up this time round. Now, though, it's back to dawn.
I think we need to know more about that, don't we? Sam, the newsreader, the wonderful Sam Francis, has just confessed he left his Christmas tree up until August. I'm assuming it was a plastic one, otherwise it would have been very limp by then, wouldn't it, to say the least? We'll find out more on that breaking story and bring it to you as we go on. OK, now, welcome back. Let's get stuck into today's story. Let's talk about Keir Starmer, shall we? Someone's got to. He's endured, I think it's fair to say, a bit of a difficult week. Questions are being asked of whether the Prime Minister has the leadership qualities to survive his full term. Not only did his government reset, though they're denying it's a reset, but one opinion poll put his party in third place behind the Conservatives and Reform UK. To discuss this, I'm joined by my wonderful Team Girl today, former Labour official Halima Khan and journalist and broadcaster Claire Muldoon. Halima, I'm going to come to you first. Good to see you this afternoon. The reset was a bit of a word soup of missions and foundations and milestones, or millstones, as Nigel Farage said. I literally had no idea what he was doing. It sounded like a reset to me 6 months in. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's no better or expert in weather vane politics other than Keir Starmer. He is somebody that I consider compulsive, repulsive liar. He'll always present ideas and promises that he'll never fulfill. So I'm quite pleased to see that his promises, no one's buying it, and rightly so, we shouldn't be buying it. You know, talking about a great reset now, after the fact that he was only just elected as Prime Minister a few months ago, is a very concerning sign for the general public, because we don't know what to expect from this government if he's changing tack so quickly. I think that he spent his entire time in opposition calling the Tory party sleaze, but he ended up showcasing himself as one of the sleaziest politicians we've had as well.
But yeah, he hasn't covered himself in glory. He's covered himself in freebies from Lord Ali, mostly, from what we can work out. I mean, Claire, what do you make? I mean, it's quite difficult. Unlike the Conservatives, who seem to be able to change Labour and change leader and Prime Ministers at the drop of a hat. It's quite difficult to actually unseat a Labour Prime Minister from within the party, isn't it?
Well, you know, that's up to the Labour Party and the Labour Party members to do that if that is the case. However, from his speech 2 days ago, he left out two very fundamental points that everyone is talking about at the moment. Immigration and net migration. Immigration and net migration was not mentioned at all, right? And nor was his ability to deal with anything like that. He didn't even talk about defence and the positive increase in GDP spending that we know we need to keep us safe and defend us as a nation. So he's missing out an awful lot. It is completely a word salad or word soup, as you've just said. And I really still don't know who's advising number 10, because the comms are atrocious. I mean, we can even look to the optic of him turning on the lights outside number 10, the Christmas tree lights on the countdown.
Oh my God.
It was absolutely awful. It was toe-curlingly bad. I expected it to be a scene in Ricky Gervais's wonderful The Office. and as I said the other day, I expected Rachel Reeves to be pedalling at number 11 to get the generator going to actually make the lights work, because Keir Starmer himself seemed quite dumbfounded that the lights worked. Well, I'm not surprised, because nothing else is working in Britain at the moment. Is it?
No, absolutely. And the other story this week concerning this is Reform overtaking Labour. OK, it was only one poll, but with two high-profile Conservatives, Andrea Jenkins and Tim Montgomery, jumping ship to go to Reform, and they've got past 100,000 members. And many are now saying Reform believe they will form the next government. Many are saying this is potential because Keir Starmer is just not fit to be Labour leader.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the people aren't generally voting Reform because they believe in Reform. They're voting for a party that they believe is anti-establishment. But one of the things that we need to be paying attention to was Keir Starmer crossing the floor to go shake hands with Nigel Farage. and they were just smiling, looking like they were having a friendly conversation. These are the same politicians that push division on the community, saying don't talk to each other, stay separated, but they talk to each other in front of us, plain to see. So I think that I don't believe that reform will win the next government, but maybe, I think Conservatives might come back in and they might do a coalition, is more likely than reform winning. But yeah, I think that, just on the point that you made about immigration, Starmer claims that he's deported and sent more people back on flights than the Conservative government. So I don't really see there being any much difference between the mainstream parties. I think they're all doing the same thing, and they're trying to confuse us as, lay people that just want justice.
I think the rallying for reform comes from what's happened over the pond with the Trump administration newly elected due in January. And I think this is the risk that politicians take in this country, especially the established elite, when they ignore the populist vote, when they ignore every single taxpayer who is working really hard to make ends meet, to pay their bills, to look after their family, to try and do the best for their family and their extended family and friendship circle, and yet they seem to be shafted right, left and centre.
But the whole manifesto, it was about working people, protecting working people.
They couldn't even define a working person, let alone a woman. On the run-up to that general election, Labour just couldn't do it, Dawn.
And we've heard today, it's officially Small Business Saturday today, and we've heard from small businesses saying, we are not going to cope in the new year because of all the new regulations that have been brought in.
Yeah, look, one of the first things that he did was scrap 2 child benefit tax and decide to freeze the elderly. He's not for the working class. He never really was. I think, like I said, he played a strategic position to get into leadership by gaslighting the working class that believed him. And then they did the same thing with when he won the general election. I think a lot of people just wanted Tories out, so they voted him thinking that he would represent the working class, and then he ended up betraying everybody that voted for him.
I just can't stand these career politicians, and we need to look to his backstory. When he was head of the DPP, when he was CPS, rape convictions went down, okay? He had the Savile portfolio on his desk at the time.
Oh, he said he didn't notice it though, because you wouldn't notice something like that, would you?
Pretty bulging.
No, you wouldn't notice.
And the Hugh Edwards case as well from the BBC. So there's a lot in his history that would actually show that he was not fit for purpose. So I don't understand why he was voted the Labour leader. And I'm sorry, they had 14 years in opposition to come up with something tangible that they could attack the woeful Tory Conservative government that we had for the past 14 years. I'm completely disenfranchised. It's a complete omnishamble, and I think the public are clasping on and are grasping to reform for something that they believe in. And I'm sorry, but they don't have the answers either. Farage is big and bluster. He is not dealing with the minutiae of a manifesto. He was asked continuously during question time to dig down, die down, and give us the actual feature and the points. He couldn't do it.
Well, I think the question time was very interesting when he was with Alistair Campbell, and he didn't mention when he was talking about Brexit, Alistair Campbell was saying, well, you lied about Brexit.
You're somebody who will exploit any problem going for your own political ends. Brexit was a fundamentally damaging thing to this country. That is your one legacy, and you now don't even want to talk about it because even you know that it has damaged this country. It's made us poorer, it's made us weaker, and it's hit our standing in the world.
Farage didn't say you lied about Iraq, right?
Yeah, but that was the obvious comeback. I was a bit curious about that one. In any case, young lady, lots of love in the room for you. Kez says, wow, an honest lefty. She's certainly got the measure of insincere care. So refreshing. And Saul says, the first time I've ever seen your guest, she's a breath of fresh air.
Oh,
you always get lots of love in any case, Claire. So keep those coming. gbnews.com/your say. Join in the debate or just say nice things about any of us, by the way. Hello, I'm here as well. TV chef Gino D'Acampo becomes the latest star to be sidelined due to accusations of inappropriate behaviour. So I'm going to ask now, is it time to completely ban any banter in the workplace? But we are getting to the stage now, Halima, aren't we, where people are being asked to sign morality clauses in offices.
Yeah, and often it's the most immoral people asking you to sign morality clauses.
Yes, that's a good point,
I think the bosses don't ever really have much accountability themselves, but they're trying to enforce their ideology on the workers. I think that the whole banning of banter is absolutely ridiculous. I think that, you know, if we don't have something that's light-hearted in any working environment aside from newsrooms, then it just makes work even more miserable than it already is. I think people are sensible enough to know when your humour is going to be offensive or when it will be taken in jest. If it's deemed as offensive, there should be processes.
Is there I mean, you're obviously a young woman, Halima. Is there an age difference here? Is something that maybe Claire and I would find funny and laugh at going to be more offensive to a younger generation of young women?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, because, you know, me and my friends probably have humour that if it was public, we'll probably get cancelled as well.
Yes,
so,
yeah,
you
sure.
know, I don't think it's a age kind of thing. I think that, you know, like I said, it depends on who you're listening to, who you get your political ideologies from, and what you think your tribe is not always your tribe, really, to be honest. So I think that I can't say for certain if there's an age difference kind of thing, but I do see, you know, people are choosing to be offended in things where there isn't that much offence.
And there's no offence meant. And I'm not talking specifically here about anything that Greg Wallace has done or said.
This is just
I'm talking about this as workplace banter, as I perceive it.
Yeah.
And I think we need to laugh more. Laughter is the old idiom, laughter's the best tonic. It really, really is. And if we can laugh at ourselves, and if we can laugh at other people fondly, okay, don't laugh at in a bullying way.
No.
But come on, jokes are funny, people are funny. Billy Connolly, Ricky Gervais, two of the funniest men I think are alive. And a lot of people, they would be, you know, they are being cancelled in certain parts of the world.
Another problem lies in like employment tribunal processes and grievance processes. They're not watertight. They always side with the employer. So if there was secure processes that support workers, then you can take it up that route and then get to the facts of the matter and what actually happened. But then
that takes time. And what do you do? People need to be employed. They need cash. The job still needs to be done. You know, people just need to get a life, jog on, and, you know, enjoy life as much as they possibly can.
Are you offended by anything Claire's just said? Let me know. Welcome back to The Weekend with me, Dawn Neeson. Loving you lot this afternoon. You're being really, really cuddly. It must be the festive spirit. I'm going to read this one out because you've dared me not to, Ian. This is from Ian. I love Halima for a bit of honesty and someone on the left. Don't disagree with anything she has said so far. As far as workplace banter goes, I haven't got an answer. But I would like to ask, is she single? I dare you to read this out, Dawn. Well, I just did.
I'm looking for a husband.
She's looking for a husband, you heard her. And she can cope with banter as well. What more do you want in a woman, eh? No, so lots of you have been sending your thoughts, and exactly like Ian and Barbara, who are getting me in trouble, all sorts of trouble.